Wait a minute, did Mendeecees just drop a bombshell revelation that no one saw coming? He sure did. The mystery surrounding what really went down between Kirk Frost and Jasmine Washington has kept fans guessing for months. Was it a staged breakup, a secret affair, or something far darker lurking behind the scenes? Well, brace yourself, because this isn't the twist you were expecting when Mendeecees finally decided to spill the truth. It raised a bigger question. Is Kirk just a phony, or is he truly the naive family man he's been portraying all along? And what about Jasmine? Is Jasmine a victim caught in a situation she never signed up for, or is she the ultimate gold digger? We're about to dive into the controversy that's shaken both the worlds of hip-hop and romance. What if I told you the truth about Kirk Frost is even more shocking than anything you've ever seen on TV? You might think you know everything about him, but we haven't even touched on what Mendeecees has to say. Once this story is out, there's no turning back. So hold on tight. Folks, did you hear that Mendeecees finally spoke up about the breakup between Kirk Frost and Jasmine Washington? Yes, you read that correctly, the kind of split that has the entire business in a frenzy. Let's take a quick step back for those of you who might have missed the madness that's been unfolding. This scandal is on an entirely different level for Kirk Frost, the so-called family man of love in hip-hop Atlanta, especially with the involvement of Jasmine Washington, the former side chick, who is now the main chick, is like an episode of your favorite soap opera. But this time, it's real life, and the drama is way worse than anything. It all seemed so predictable, didn't it? We all thought we had a handle on the saga of Kirk and Rashida's rocky relationship. The lies, the betrayals, the public shaming. Everything unfolded before our eyes. Yet despite all the attention on Kirk's questionable past, one crucial piece of the puzzle has been overlooked. Jasmine Washington. No one is talking about her, but she's the one turning everything upside down now. At first, she seemed like an innocent figure. But as the truth comes to light, the whispers about her and Kirk are starting to shake things up in ways none of us could have anticipated. What started as mere gossip about a secret affair quickly spiraled into something far more intense, a force powerful enough to shatter everything they had built together. We're on the brink of discovering just how deep this rabbit hole really goes. But as always, things are never what they appear to say. The situation is confusing would be a huge understatement. But don't worry, Mendeecees is here to clear things up. He steps in, taking note of Harris, whose chaotic past is far from unknown, from his complicated relationship with Yandandi Smith to his multiple encounters with the law. He's certainly no stranger to drama, as viewers of the show know he's now facing yet another chapter in his turbulent life. Mendeecees has taken it upon himself to reveal the truth about what really went down between Kirk and Jasmine. And trust me when I say this isn't just a casual comment. I mean, what he's about to share will challenge everything you thought you knew about these two. Although Mendeecees is not one to usually step into the spotlight, he's been holding back key details that the public deserves to know. For the longest time, we all assumed Kirk's split from Jasmine was just another chapter in his well-documented relationship history. But with his shocking revelation, it's becoming clear that everything we thought we knew up until now is about to be turned upside down. This is only the beginning. What does Mendeecees know that we haven't yet discovered? Why is he speaking out now? And what kept him quiet for so long? Mendeecees isn't just making a statement. He's here to shake things up, and he's doing it with style. Now let's dig deeper into the timeline of Jasmine and Kirk Frost's relationship. Believe me, it's a tangled mess. If you're curious about the affair that went public and quickly transformed Kirk into the villain in the eyes of the public, you're in for a ride. What started as a seemingly innocent fling quickly escalated into something far more dramatic, changing the course of their lives forever. The story takes an even darker turn. After Jasmine gave birth, things quickly spiraled out of control, and Kirk's public image took a serious hit. What seemed like a minor issue turned into a full-blown scandal that had the power to bring down everything he had built. Kirk's world was on the brink of collapsing. This wasn't just a bad decision. It was a move that threatened to ruin not only his reputation, but his career as well, with his relationship with Rashida constantly under the media's microscope. The accusations of infidelity made people question whether Kirk was truly a good man, or if he had been manipulating Rashida all along. Kirk's response to the mounting scandal was nothing short of desperate. Instead of owning up to his mistakes, he tried to deflect the blame, suggesting that the whole affair was just a misunderstanding. His go-to defense was the classic, "I didn't cheat, she's just a fan," trying to get attention, which was a transparent attempt to deny the truth. When that didn't stick, he took a different route, saying, "Maybe I messed up, but you don't understand what I was going through at the time." It was the ultimate excuse, a way to avoid accountability while making himself out to be the victim of his own choices. When Kirk's child was born, still within his marriage to Rashida, things took a sharp turn. Jasmine, a woman, simply trying to make a living, suddenly found herself thrust into the center of a media storm. She became the target of endless gossip, talked about on every talk show, scrutinized by blogs, and ridiculed by internet trolls. Despite the lack of clarity on the nature of her relationship with Kirk, one thing was certain: she was now the subject of everyone's attention. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Jasmine didn't shy away from the backlash. Instead, she took it head-on, fiercely attacking Rashida and hitting back at anyone who dared to criticize her in a series of interviews. Jasmine stepped forward to share her side of the story. She made it clear that she was done being cast as the victim and was ready to fight back. And boy, did she have questions. Jasmine wasn't the naive woman she had once been portrayed as. She had fallen for a web of lies spun by a man who was nothing like the person he claimed to be. Was she a gold digger? Was this all just an elaborate scheme? The whole situation felt off, and Kirk's attempt to paint himself as the wronged husband didn't sit well with anyone. At this point, Mendeecees stepped in, giving Kirk an exit from the Moy drama without having to face the full consequences of his actions. Things are about to get even messier now that Mendeecees is stepping into the spotlight. But before we dive into the chaos he's about to stir up, let's take a moment to remember that this situation was far from ordinary. We've seen the headlines, the drama, and the public clashes, but the real story is still waiting to be uncovered. The breakup was a public spectacle, but was there more happening behind the scenes than we realize? Was Kirk and Jasmine's split truly as shocking as it seemed? Or is there a deeper, more twisted narrative at play? Stick around, because what comes next will keep you on the edge of your seat. As the truth starts to surface, it becomes clear that things are only going to get worse. What has been a slow-building disaster for Kirk Frost and Jasmine Washington is now reaching a breaking point with Mendeecees involved and Harris stepping in. The situation is bound to take even more bizarre turns. Brace yourselves, it's not going to be pretty. First, let's dive into the fallout from their separation. By now, Kirk Frost's association with scandal shouldn't shock anyone, but the aftermath of his affair with Jasmine has hit him harder than anything before. The consequences are far-reaching, and they're just beginning to unfold. The drama surrounding Kirk and Jasmine's split didn't just fuel Jasmine's supporters online. Once the tabloids exposed the fallout, everyone had something to say. Those closest to the situation, whom we'll call the inner circle, revealed that the breakup was far from mutual. In fact, Kirk's hands weren't as spotless as he tried to make them seem. While there hasn't been an official statement, rumors have swirled in the world of love and hip-hop, suggesting that Kirk may have been more deeply entangled in the mess than anyone initially thought. This affair wasn't just a simple slip-up. It was a full-scale power struggle gone wrong. It wasn't your typical oops. I messed up the cheating scandal, according to whispers in the industry. Kirk tried to juggle two very different lives, one with Jasmine, whom he'd been keeping in plain sight, and the other with Rashida, his wife. But his balancing act didn't last long. Behind closed doors, there were whispers of power plays, secret deals, and excessive spending that didn't add up. His attempts to cover his tracks by showering Jasmine with expensive gifts only made matters worse, exposing the mess he had created. But wait, things are about to get even more intriguing. Kirk wasn't the only one playing a game here. While you might have thought of Jasmine as the innocent victim swept up in the chaos, new details from anonymous sources. Yes, the ones always hanging out at the club with their phones ready to spill the tea are turning that story on its head. It turns out Jasmine wasn't just some damsel caught in the middle. She had a plan, and this wasn't just a casual fling. There was more to her involvement than anyone realized. Listening to those on the inside paints a very different picture. The plot thickens. Rumor has it that Jasmine wasn't just playing the role of the side chick. She was gathering intel. Far from being a helpless pawn, she knew exactly how to leverage the information she had on Kirk, and it could have destroyed his career. Sources close to the situation claimed that Jasmine secretly met with one of Kirk's former associates, plotting ways to bring down his business empire. This wasn't the story of the naive girl next door that everyone assumed. Reliable insiders suggest that Kirk was on the verge of kicking Jasmine to the curb until she began revealing secrets that could unravel everything he had worked for. Just when you thought Kirk's mess couldn't get any worse, Mendeecees steps in with a shocking revelation. In a recent interview, Mendeecees opened up about Harris, a man whose history is riddled with scandal, emerging at just the right or wrong moment. We all remember Mendeecees' tumultuous past, including his troubled romances, run-ins with the law, and the infamous drama with Yandy Smith. But now, he's diving headfirst into yet another dangerous situation. Mendeecees is clearly on edge as the public's curiosity about what really went down behind the scenes grows. What started as a messy breakup is quickly spiraling into something much larger than anyone anticipated. Mendeecees didn't hold back. He exposed everything as though the truth was long overdue. According to him, Kirk's actions were more than just those of a cheating husband. Kirk's entire public persona, Mendeecees claimed, was built on lies about his relationships with Jasmine, Rashida, and their entire circle. Mendeecees argued that Kirk had expertly used his role as a reality TV star to craft the image of a devoted husband, while behind closed doors, chaos was unfolding. The real shocker was what Mendeecees revealed next, something that completely shattered the facade. Kirk had worked so hard to maintain. The most shocking claim Mendeecees made was that Kirk had allegedly been using his reality show and his marriage as tools to secure financial gains. During the interview, Mendeecees hinted at some surprising revelations, suggesting that Kirk had been involved in questionable investments. Even more surprisingly, Jasmine might have played a larger role in keeping things afloat than anyone realized. Was she involved in these financial dealings? Did she help Kirk maintain the illusion of the perfect couple? These questions shift our entire perspective on their relationship, forcing us to rethink not only their personal dynamic, but also how the public has reacted to the drama surrounding them. As soon as Jasmine's potential involvement became public, fans of the show quickly divided into camps. Some felt that the long-hidden truth was finally surfacing, while others suspected Mendeecees was simply trying to create chaos for his own gain. Kirk's supporters rushed to his defense, accusing Mendeecees of attacking a man who had already endured so much. On the other hand, Rashida, typically quiet throughout the drama, broke her silence with a cryptic tweet. Fans couldn't help but wonder if it was about her split with Kirk, or perhaps something even darker involving Jasmine. The real questions still linger unanswered. Did Jasmine secretly stir the pot, or is she just another victim caught in this mess? What led to Kirk's marriage falling apart so quickly? Did Jasmine seize the opportunity, or was she simply a pawn in a much larger scheme? And what about Mendeecees? What role does he really play in all of this? Is he capitalizing on the chaos? Or does he have deeper knowledge than he's revealing with bombshells about to drop? It's clear that the full story is much more complex than we initially thought. The story is far from over, and the fallout is only just beginning now that we've unraveled the scandal, the tangled relationships, and the dark truths behind Kirk and Jasmine's breakup. The aftermath is anything but pretty. The reactions have been nothing short of chaotic, with the entire world glued to the drama. Let's break down the public response to Mendeecees' bombshell claims. Fans were torn into opposing camps, each reacting in extreme ways. As the world witnessed the storm that followed, Kirk's supporters quickly went on the defensive, accusing Mendeecees of trying to tarnish Kirk's reputation. But it wasn't just Kirk's fans who were enraged. This wasn't the first time Mendeecees had found himself embroiled in someone else's drama. He faced criticism for everything from his questionable business dealings to his alleged neglect of parenting duties. Meanwhile, Jasmine's fans eagerly jumped into the fray, intensifying the debate. But the real kicker came when Rashida, ever the composed queen of the love and hip-hop scene, finally spoke up. "You all want to know the truth," she said, promising revelations that no one saw coming. Rashida's emotionally charged Instagram live video wasn't just another TV spat. It was a moment loaded with deeper meaning. According to her, everything wasn't as it seemed, and there was so much more that the public wasn't privy to. What did she truly mean? Was she throwing shade at Kirk? Or was there something much larger at play? Sources close to Rashida claimed she was simply trying to maintain peace for the sake of her family, particularly their children, and that she was holding back more than she let on. However, others believe she might be hiding something far more significant than she's willing to reveal. Was Rashida trying to shield her family's reputation by keeping quiet about the truth? Was she protecting both, herself and Kirk, from a potential scandal that could be far more damaging than anyone imagined? Did she know about Kirk's affair with Jasmine? The real question now is how far this will all unfold. Rumors suggest that Kirk may be facing more than just a ruined reputation. Sources close to the situation have hinted that his involvement in shady business dealings with Jasmine could lead to serious legal consequences. Some even speculate that Kirk's lavish spending and questionable practices could bring about much bigger issues than anyone had anticipated. Kirk's extravagant spending habits and secret meetings with Jasmine have now caught the attention of federal investigators, who are diving deep into his financial dealings. The question remains, why didn't Rashida take action sooner? The potential legal consequences are beginning to surface, and it's becoming clear that there are serious implications at play. But Jasmine isn't out of the spotlight either. Every move she made is now being picked apart. Was she simply a victim of the situation, or did she have a hand in something far more nefarious? Reports suggest that Jasmine might soon find herself under investigation as well. Rumors swirl that if Jasmine was involved in more than just an affair, she could be facing her own set of legal troubles. The six-figure sum Jasmine allegedly received from Kirk during their affair could be tied to a hidden business deal, raising serious concerns about the nature of their connection. This scandal might have wide-reaching legal consequences, ranging from accusations of money laundering to secretive investments that concealed his financial activities. If Jasmine was involved in these questionable transactions, she's at a very real risk of facing legal scrutiny. However, the most disturbing part of this entire situation is the potential involvement of Rashida Mendeecees and possibly others who could find themselves caught up in this tangled web of deceit and manipulation. Love and Hip Hop Group may be impacted by this controversy. In addition to Kirk and Jasmine, everyone becomes a possible target when lies, money, and power are involved, not to mention the possible effects this incident might have on hip-hop and love. In general, the turmoil and drama surrounding its stars have generated enormous profits for the producers. But now, they need to consider how long they can ride this wave before it crashes out of character feuds and absurd plots are common on the program. But what if this one goes too far? Things could escalate quickly. Once public opinion turns against you, as history has shown, with many reality TV stars, Kirk Frost might lose both his paycheck and his spot on the show. Even though Jasmine is gaining more attention, she may face backlash that's too overwhelming to handle. If the charges against Mendeecees are proven true, his career could be over. Hip-hop and love as we know it might experience major turmoil if this drama continues to spiral. legal probes, potential lawsuits, and even more shocking twists on the show are bound to add even more fuel to the fire in the upcoming episodes. Months have passed, and just when it seemed like everyone's focus was locked on Kirk for Jasmine and Mendeecees, an unexpected twist unfolds. Other familiar faces from the show have started to stir the pot, and now the question arises: could Camilla and Yandandi Smith be pulling the strings behind the scenes for their own benefit? Don't be surprised if these two end up playing a pivotal role in how everything plays out. The real question now is who will emerge from this scandal unscathed, and who will be left in its wake, forgotten and discarded. Will reality TV ever be the same without Kirk Frost? Will Jasmine's role in this tangled mess lead to her downfall? Could Mendes be remembered as the one who ignited an already blazing inferno? Or will he be seen as an unlikely savior? And what about Rashida? Will she stand by her man? Or is this the breaking point that ends their relationship for good? Is the era of this TV dynasty coming to a close? Before we wrap up, consider these lingering questions. Will Kirk and Jasmine face legal repercussions? What do you think lies ahead for Rashida? It seems like you're following some intense reality TV drama, especially surrounding Kirk, Jasmine, and Mendeecees. The twists and turns in these types of narratives always keep things exciting. What do you think will happen next? Do you believe there will be more surprises? Or is it all just for show? It definitely looks like the drama is just getting started, and there are a lot of unanswered questions. Kirk's future, Jasmine's role in all of this, and Mendeecees' influence could make or break everything. If the rumors are true, there could be some serious repercussions, especially with all the legal and personal consequences at stake. Whether or not Mendes is actually revealing the truth or just stirring things up for personal gain remains to be seen. But it's clear this scandal has more layers than we initially thought. What do you think will happen next? Will Kirk's charm be enough to get him out of this mess? Or is this the end of his TV career?